end of year option that's coming up. Actually, it's not end of the year. It's tomorrow. $10 billion worth of options will expire tomorrow. And not to mention futures. I don't even know the volume of futures. It's always the last Friday of every month, and that happens to be tomorrow. So this could be absolutely huge. Now, the bears that have been getting decimated, they really want to see Bitcoin below 42,000. That's how they minimize their loss. But if Bitcoin holds above 42 or goes to 43, they will get absolutely wrecked. That may be the reason why we're seeing some volatility right now. Why Bitcoin won't go higher than 44,000. Why it's kind of teetering around 42, 43 now, because these bears that have set large amounts of money towards these contracts for the end of year expirations, they may be hurting after tomorrow. So they don't want to be hurting. They don't want to be hurting bad. But that could be a big reason why Bitcoin is not moving up right now. Regardless of what happens tomorrow, we know that there's so many things coming in 2024. I already mentioned about the quadfecta, but here there's even more, right? We got the ETF approval. That's just the first week, the first 2 weeks of January. We got the interest rate cut. I don't know about March. I think it's going to start more like June, but yeah, that's in there. You got the halving event in April. I didn't even know MiCA laws start also in June in Europe. That's considered a positive thing. You got X and their payment implementation. I don't know if that's August, but I do think it's going to be sometime in 2024. And if that includes crypto integration, crypto wallets, and maybe possibly acceptance of Doge or Bitcoin and Ethereum and others, of course, that's going to be a major catalyst. You have the U.S. elections, of course, that's a major catalyst. Every election year, markets blow up, right? And then you got the new FASB rules for Bitcoin, which companies can already implement early if they want to, but it's a new accounting. It's a way how companies can account for the Bitcoin on their treasuries. It's just a lot more favorable. Right now, it just kind of sucks, right? So you got a lot of catalysts for 2024, which is why I'm so bullish. Here's something else that's also bullish. If you look at how much Bitcoin is being bought and transferred away from exchanges like Coinbase, for example, it's hard to see because it's not zoomed in. But if you do zoom in, you realize that we had 30,000 Bitcoins. 30,000 Bitcoins leaving Coinbase in the last few days. That's a lot. One of the largest outflows we have seen going all the way back to 2022. Of course, there's been big outflows in 2022, but I mean, these are enormous buys. They're not sells. You know, if you're wondering, oh, doesn't that mean there's people just sold? No, these are actually just being withdrawn from Coinbase, meaning that they're going into a self-custody wallet or a custodian, right? But basically, these big boys, whoever they are, not all of them reveal themselves like MicroStrategy when they make a big purchase. In fact, most do not. What they're doing is buying and accumulating, and they're keeping it a secret. They don't want anyone to know. But I think there will be a lot more that reveal themselves in 2024. Love to see some of these big tech companies with endless amount of cash just sitting there get involved with Bitcoin, like the likes of Apple and Microsoft. I think they both have. Well, Microsoft may not anymore because they spent an enormous amount on Activision Blizzard, but at one point in time, they had over $200 billion in cash. Apple, I still believe, has that, if not like over $300 billion now. Even if one of them just said, hey, you know what? Let's put like $10 billion or $20 billion or $30 billion in Bitcoin and hold it in our treasuries, just like MicroStrategy. Man, that's going to be enormous. It's going to be huge. All right, plan B, stock to flow, showing that Bitcoin, even though we deviated a little bit, we went lower than expected this cycle because we didn't go as high as expected. We're back on track. We're back on track. And according to this, of course, we're going to, first of all, break into where we should have been, which is 100,000. We missed it because I believe the Fed announced rate rate hikes a little bit early. They needed to because inflation was out of control, but that's what brought Bitcoin down. Otherwise, I think we would have hit 100,000. But anyways, so we're going to hit that mark first, and then we're going to see where this takes us. Because if we're going back on track, by the time we hit the next cycle, we should be nearing, I can't really see it, but like somewhere like around $500,000, $600,000, right? That's probably the next cycle. That's when Bitcoin will be equal or bigger than the market cap of gold. That's the next cycle. And Cathie Wood said the same thing. Between $600 to $1.5 million by 2030, right? So we're back on track. We'll see where this takes us. If you're looking at a fractal pattern, this looks pretty darn similar. We're basically mimicking the 2017 cycle or 2016 cycle. Basically, we've broken out of the bottom. We're in recovery. We're getting closer to having an event. And then the parabolic bull run starts, right? I mean, I've shown this before. I don't know how else to be more bullish at this point. Well, I guess here's something. If Bitcoin does push above 44.7, remember I've said Bitcoin has a hard time breaking above 44. $4 billion of shorts will be liquidated, and we're going to get a massive short squeeze. Remember, the next level to hit is 48,000, right? So if we could break through 44.7, 45, and that could come after tomorrow because tomorrow's that options expiration. So between today and tomorrow, the bears and bulls will probably fight it out. If the bears lose and we break above and then we keep going to 45,000, we'll be at 48,000 no time because we'll have another 4 billion worth of shorts being liquidated and squeezed, and we'll be right at 48,000, and then we only have a few days left. If we could end the year between $48,000 and $50,000, that would be absolutely amazing. Set us up in a really good position for, of course, spot ETF approvals and a halving event. All right, and then last few things. Max Kaiser, who's one of the biggest Bitcoin bulls out there and got in very early, he makes a point about looking at a hash rate. Don't concentrate on price, concentrate on hash rate. I've said this too. Bitcoin is the only crypto where price trails the hash rate. It's just that simple. The hash rate always goes up, then the price follows. It has always been the case. With everything else that's still mineable, that's not the case. Hash rate goes up or down dependent on the price. Bitcoin is the only crypto where it's the opposite because it basically shows that the miners do not care why Bitcoin is up or down. They just know it's the future and they go mine forever. That's really it. And Bitcoin's miners and hash rate just continues to go up and up and up and up and up. They seemingly never come down, right? So basically what we can learn from this is ignore price, concentrate on the fundamentals. And I've been saying that for a long time. Okay, ignore price, concentrate on the fundamentals. And then you'll be led to the promised land.